He's from Doctor Who, in case you don't know, and also Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody from the audience was like, so can you please hum the Doctor Who tune? And she's like, okay, but it goes woo wee woo. She's like, I want you guys, pointed to me and Dave, to do the low part, da 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 da. Dave doesn't watch Doctor Who, so he didn't know it. So I go, all right, I'll do it. I did it like 3 times, and I look over, and she goes, I just wanted to see how long you would do that.
Oh, man.
I like drop my mic and start laughing. It was pretty funny. The whole audience laughed.
It got a good laugh.
And I was simultaneously humiliated and proud.
Yeah, that's what it's actually, you know what? That's kind of what it's like doing interviews at these things. Oftentimes the laughs are at our expense, and you just have to take it. Like a champ.
It was great. I wouldn't have changed it for anything. And you just have to roll with something like that. Like if you let it bother you or something, I couldn't even conceive of that, but maybe somebody might take it wrong or freeze up or something, but I just like laughed it off and then kept on going with my same old interview. And it was awesome because her parents were off to the side, this old Scottish couple. And so I brought him up on stage.
Nice. Really?
I was like, hey,
That's
come
so
on over
sweet.
here. And then, I was like, tell me what Karen was like as a little kid. And her mom was like, she was a demon child. Just kind of kidding around.
That's funny.
But it was very cool. So I recommend you guys, if you're at all into those superhero shows, check out one of those. It was great. We were not sure whether we were going to enjoy it because it wasn't Walking Dead, but it was a blast.
That was a fun listener meetup as well.
Yeah, so we met with Brittany and Amanda, who were there to do the Once Upon a Time panel. That was the first time
fabulous.
I ever met them. They do our Once Upon a Podcast in the Podcasting Network. And we met some listeners. Bex Maddie was one of them. And it was great.
It was so fun. And Brittany and Amanda are just how I thought they would be. And, I thought they'd be wonderful in person, and they were wonderful in person. So it was a huge highlight for me. Yay.
It was super cool. It was so great. Like I feel like I already know her. And as soon as I saw her, I did feel like it wasn't the first time meeting, but it was also really nice to finally meet Brittany. Yeah. And Amanda was awesome too.
Yep.
I know you guys are probably like, get to the freaking episode because Glenn came back this week and that's something we're talking about. Yeah. Did you forget to watch?
Oh, maybe I just skimmed right over that. I guess
part,
it didn't make an impression on me.
That was Glenn, the Asian guy.
Oh, that guy.
But before we go into it, I just want to mention that we've been getting a few nasty reviews lately on iTunes. I don't usually talk about this, but we got 3 in a row, and it doesn't make any sense to me because we're getting a lot of, it feels like you guys, most of you are digging what we're doing. But the reviews are like, oh, you're too critical. Then the next one will say, you're not critical enough. So it's not like there's any consistency to it. And so that's why if we get consistently the same remark, then I'll be like, oh, maybe we need to change something. But I just think it's, you're not, what anyone does isn't for everyone. So I wouldn't expect everyone to like us, but it's a little disheartening. So if you haven't had a chance to give us a review yet and you are liking what we're doing, I would appreciate it if you'd go on there and give us one. Maybe nice. Just a rating.
Feel better. I didn't realize there were that many.
Just
ones.
Just a few. But if you want to do it, the easiest way is to go to walkingdeadcast.com/iTunes, and then our podcast will open up in iTunes, or if you do that on your phone in your podcast app.
No pressure or anything to give us 5 stars, but
no, I actually don't want to pressure anybody to give us 5 stars. I want an honest rating and review, but I just think that that's not an accurate representation, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get like 10 1-star reviews. All right, you asked for it. All right, so let's get to the main event before people go give us 2-star reviews.
Right, exactly.
Main event fast enough. Here we go.
Attention shoppers, Deadcast Top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
What if you could give people reviews and you could just give somebody a star rating and it would just be floating above their head?
At 1-star rating as they come up to you and their 1-star lights up and they're all sad.
And it's like 5,000 reviews, average 1 star.
1 star. I suck.
That would be bad. I think that's coming in the future as soon as we get holograph brain chip implants.
God, I hope not.
Okay, it's our Deadcast Top 5 this week. It's our top 5 highlights for Season 6, Episode 7, Heads Up.
Heads up. So
Heads up, Glenn's back.
If this episode was walking around, how many stars would you put over its head?
I would put 3.4 stars over its head. You know, I might raise that a little bit. On first watch, I was incredibly happy to see Glenn back, and that was a positive. But I was a little bored, and I thought it was a little slow. But on second watch, I liked it more. So maybe 3.8.
It's about what I gave it to. I thought it was about 3.8, 3.9, especially at the beginning and at the very, very end. But in the middle, it kind of sagged.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, let's go to the news. No, I'm just kidding.
Why don't you go first?
Okay. Well, before I even get into my top 5, what's the significance of heads up? The obvious one is Enid telling Glenn heads up as she throws him bottled water.
And he misses.
And he misses. She said, I said heads up.
Yeah, it's that, and it's also, I mean, a couple of different things. One, Carl's about to get shot in the back. Heads up. Boom.
I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah, there's a ton.
Why did he not?
Oh, because the tower crashed. He still might.
He still might.
That might be the end of Carl.
And the other one of the other ones I thought was Maggie standing on top of the wall waiting for the heads up from Glenn.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Which she got eventually in the form of a lot of green balloons.
Which could have been from anybody, but she knew.
She knew.
And then the other one is heads up is what you say to someone when a tower is about to fall on them.
When a tower just outside the wall can fall in any direction, and it chooses to fall in the direction to cause the most damage to the wall.
Yeah, and the most awesome drama.
Okay,
why don't you want me to go first?
I do. Yeah, you go
sure?
first. Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, because I feel like I've been talking a lot, but all right. So my number 5 is just how Glenn's apparent death was handled.
Yeah.
And that's sort of a meta topic, but in hindsight, it's pretty obvious to me that they were hoping we would think Glenn was dead.
Yes.
Yeah, they put those clues in that we talked about before in the episode where he apparently died. They had him quoting previous episodes and calling Rick a dumbass and stuff. Mm-hmm. Then pulling out that pocket watch, they took his name out of the credits.
Yes.
So, those are the things they did on the show. And it was a little clumsy, but if not for the external stuff, I would have bought into it. In fact, I did. I thought he was gone until I woke up the next day and found out he wasn't on The Talking Dead, that Scott Gimple had released that kind of weird statement. Sounded like obfuscation, that they didn't want to have. I mean, I think they should have either had him come on and just lie, or if they didn't want to do that, then they just say he was off filming something else and couldn't be there. And I think they still should have listed him in the moratorium on The Talking Dead, and they could just do some kind of reverse anti-moratorium or later or something.
Yeah, which actually they kind of did on last night's Talking Dead. Yeah, they did a little memoriam.
They should have just done the memoriam in the first place then.
Yes.
Yeah, because they didn't. I mean, my point, they didn't do a good job. They made us all see that he was not dead, or at least heavily speculate. Also, at Walker Stalker Atlanta, we weren't allowed to talk about the episode or do a panel with Stephen Yeun. I mean, it's okay to yank his panel because they could have just said, well, he doesn't feel ready to talk about it, but they should have just coached the other actors to act like it was real or something. But saying, okay, nobody's allowed to talk about this, made it seem like, well, obviously they don't want us to figure out that he's still around.
It was the worst kept secret.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
I mean, it's not, it's like, Yeah, exactly. It's not only that they didn't keep the secret, but they just did the opposite. It's like they blasted out into the atmosphere. Guess what? Glenn's not dead.
All right. Exactly.
So
They could have. I thought it was the way they did it was kind of lame. I have to say. I mean, yay! Glenn is dead. Let's take a minute to sort of celebrate. Hooray! Glenn's not dead, and he scampered under the dumpster. And by the way, I really do think we should try to get that in the common vernacular. Scampered under the dumpster.
well, he didn't. He kind of scooched under there, I would say.
Yeah. Okay.
It wasn't
you're
really
right.
a scamper. It was more of a scooch.
Yeah, it was a scooch. You're right. I liked the camera shot of all of that, but they could have done it better instead of trying to maybe trick us into thinking that he's dead, which as you say, felt kind of cheap. They could have, for instance, let the camera pan back to see that it's Nicholas's entrails being eaten, and Glenn is clearly still in danger. I mean, he's not safe with Nicholas on top of him, and they could have left it at that. Is he or isn't he dead? Instead of trying to make us think he's dead, it could have been just like, hey, Glenn's in peril.
Yeah, I mean that was the situation that we ended up with, because even though all these clues outside of the show made us think he probably wasn't dead, nobody knew for sure. So, but I think that ended up being a problem for them, because if we had believed he was dead, as I believe they wanted us to, then that scene would seem fairly resolved. And then the next 3 episodes with Morgan and then Alexandra recovering from the wolves, and then the one with Daryl in the woods, would have been thought of differently. As it was, most people were like, I don't care about this. Let's find out what happened to Glenn.
Right.
But maybe that Morgan episode would have been more like, oh man, we just saw one of the darkest, saddest things, and it's just really nice to get away from that and focus on something uplifting. I think that's what they were going for, but leaving it unresolved just made people really impatient with the next 3 episodes.
Yeah, it really did. It really
so it didn't work for it didn't work for them, in my opinion. I mean, I think it's arguable whether the storyline has been handled well on the show, but the way it was handled off the show really detracted from it.
I agree.
Yeah. So that's my number 5.
I like it. So my number 5 is also Glenn is alive. Hooray. I'm very, very happy. I didn't want him to be dead, and I was bummed because, for a little bit, I believed it too. But then I watched The Talking Dead right afterwards, and I was like, no, wait a second. There's a lot wrong here. Yeah. And then immediately I went on social media, and it was all over social media. And I'm like,
that's the other thing, is all the news sites were like, for every one news site that thought he was dead, the other 5 were just giving reasons why he wasn't.
Right, exactly. Now, having said all that, another thing I really enjoyed about the whole yay, Glenn is alive, is I really enjoyed that. Okay, so after he he crawls under the dumpster. I liked the way he sort of waits it out and then comes back, and then it's Enid. I never expected to see Enid there, but it was fun and a sort of a nice surprise to see Enid, and I like the little dynamic between Enid and Glenn. So that was really nice. I enjoyed, her being very resistant to Glenn's charms and calling him an asshole. and
then
of course,
what did he say?
His response was, you pull a gun on me and I'm the asshole.
I like that. That was great.
Mm-hmm. And I thought it was funny because when she was pointing a gun at Glenn, I thought, wow, it would be so funny if after all of this, Enid pulls the trigger and kills Glenn. It would be so funny. I mean, dark funny, but still funny, right?
No, I don't agree that you would laugh at that. I don't think so. Would you? You'd be like, hey, what the hell?
Well,
I mean, it could be, yeah, I guess funny in a not necessarily funny ha-ha way. But I think you'd be upset, wouldn't you? You like Glenn.
Of course I love Glenn.
Yeah.
I don't want him to die. But
people think you're going to quit the show, and you're like, it would be so funny if Glenn got shot in the face by a teenager.
Well, after all of this, and he makes it out of that situation that is he dead? Is he alive? For weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And
Yeah.
finally, oh, yay, he's alive. Oh,
Well, maybe
the
what if he
angels are
like cut
singing.
his foot on a nail and got tetanus and then died? Would that
That's
be even
less
funnier?
funny.
Less
Yeah,
funny.
that's hilarious. Nothing funnier than Lockjaw.
Enid. So I didn't like. Well, Enid was annoying, and I was like, dude, just tell him that you don't know whether Maggie's okay. You don't have to, like, God, answer him.
She's such a disgruntled teenager.
Yeah. But, I thought Glenn, like, also saying, I'm going to take you back. It's like, well, she doesn't want to go back. That's kind of like kidnapping. You're a kidnapper.
And you don't need her, but, he wasn't going to leave the disgruntled teenager. She's young.
What if he found other kids? I'm forcing you to come back with me. Well, we don't want to.
Other kids.
Too bad.
You kind of need to guide
There's
them.
a certain age in there. I mean, she's probably about 16, 17.
Maybe
It's borderline.
Yeah, kind of borderline. So, do you think it's been decided whether she's Teen Wolf or not?
I've thought since that first episode I was speculating on it, but ever since then I've been saying definitely not. And you keep thinking she is, but what do you think now?
I think it's still undecided. She's definitely a disgruntled teen, but is she a wolf? I don't know.
But too bad we're not betting beers anymore. I think you owe me a ton of beer anyway.
You think that's true, huh? I think I just brought you a 6-pack a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, was that repaying my debts?
Yeah.
Okay.
And simply being nice.
Okay. I still think you owe me way more, but okay.
Listeners, you decide.
Do you want to make a bet on this Enid one?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
I do not.
All right.
All right, what's your number 4?
Number 4 is Glenn. I'm really happy that Glenn is back.
Yay.
Yay. I think it bears saying a few times because we like Glenn so much. And I don't really care that this kind of plot device has been used before with Carol, where we thought she was dead for like a couple episodes.
Yes.
Remember that? And Judith. We thought Judith might have been gone because we saw the bloody car seat.
Yeah, that's right. But they were like, nobody would kill a baby.
Yeah, but we didn't know for sure until we saw Tyrese turn around and he had her strapped to him. But I don't care. I still think it works great. I think maybe in part because Glenn is the biggest character. I mean, Carol's gotten to be as big, but back then she wasn't. So it seems like he's, it just, I don't know, for some reason it didn't bother me that they used it again.
Right.
I was just happy to see him back, and I didn't care. I wasn't thinking, oh, what a cheap. If they had handled it well, then I think it would have been pretty great. If we really had thought he was dead this whole time, and then we saw him back, because we even now I wasn't 100% sure, and just to have it confirmed felt really good. So I think if we had really thought he was, and then he came back, we'd be like, oh my God, this is so great.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That's what I think.
And gosh, I gotta say, I've got to stop looking at Facebook before The Walking Dead comes on the West Coast, because I was spoiled that he was back. Dang it.
Yeah, you do. You should, because every Sunday night I actually set my computer to do not disturb, which means I don't get any notifications or anything.
Nice. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, so I won't get spoiled. And I even titled our little, like on Facebook, I create a little thing for people to write what they thought about the episode. And I was joking. I was like, so Glenn's back tonight, right? And then people were like, yeah, but I didn't see it until I just turned off my notifications so I wouldn't see it. Anyways, him scooting under the dumpster, actually, I still think it's pretty ridiculous that he didn't get bitten by any of the zombies, but I think they made it look about as good as they could have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure.
Showing it with the new perspective with the camera where you see the zombies eating Nicholas and him scooting under there. And then you can sort of think, well, maybe, once Nicholas was ripped open, they were all pretty focused on those yummy intestines sticking out.
They're good.
Yeah. And, not so much on a leathery shoe or whatever. And
or a delicious leg, or maybe even a beautiful head. He's got such an adorable, delicious looking head.
Yeah, but it's just like bloody intestines. It's like one of those little laser pointers with a cat. Just can't look away. So I can file that under the Department of Suspension of Disbelief.
Yes.
And that I liked that it was tall enough for him to barely squeeze in.
Mm-hmm.
And he started knifing all the zombies around him to create a barrier. Although I don't see how he would get any zombies that weren't like below his waistline or that weren't above his waistline. But whatever. I mean, it was done better than I thought it would be.
Yes. Yeah. I really enjoyed like the quiet sounds of it too. I thought the music was great. The sounds were terrific. I mean, you didn't hear the scuffling and that they quieted all of that down, which was great. I thought it was nicely done.
Artfully. The only weird thing is, excuse me, that they had some little like la 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 music, and then you saw the zombies sort of starting to lose interest and walk away. And so you had this kind of nice, I don't know, contemplative music or something, and the zombies are turning towards the camera, and it was like, this is like I don't know, like a little documentary on the lives of zombies or something.
The tin can rolls past.
It just, yeah, it was like, look at these nice zombies in their environment. It's a little odd.
A little nature documentary.
I like that he was so thirsty because it kind of just showed that he'd spent a lot of time under there.
Still, though, I gotta say, only one day so far in this first half of the season.
Okay. Well, shoot, I've been going on a lot. I have more to say about Glenn. Maybe I'll save it. Why don't you go?
Okay.
What's your number?
All right, my number 4 is Tara flips off Rick.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
It was. And actually, Rick was kind of being a jerk in this episode. And so I was really hoping that more people would flip him off. For instance,
he's a jerk.
He was.
Well, he is, yeah.
We finally see Father Gabriel, and it's kind of sweet. He's advertising a prayer circle at the solar panels at 1:00. And he's, it's very nice. That's kind of a nice thing. I mean, I'm no giant Father Gabriel fan, but you can't really go far wrong with a prayer circle at the solar panels at 1:00. And Rick,
it was pretty funny when Rick took it away and then he just goes and puts it back. It's like kind of this passive aggressive. It wasn't like Rick wasn't saying, I'm not going to let you do that.
He just rips.
It was just a little passive aggressive.
A little. I would have loved it if Father Gabriel just sort of turns around and flips him off. Not that we would have done that, but it would have been funny. And then I was imagining a bunch of other people flipping off Rick in this episode.
Who else?
Well, it would have been funny if Rick had flipped Spencer off when Spencer tries to be a hero by crawling along the line secured by the grappling hook, which, by the way, was a terrible idea. And God, Spencer, why haven't you died yet? Especially when he fell into the hungry zombie herd. And all that happened was he lost a shoe, and he's like, "Well, I lost a shoe." Would have been funny if Rick could flip him
that
off.
was funny. I thought, oh man, I lost my shoe.
Yes. Now imagine Rick flipping him off. That's pretty funny. Well, and then he chastises Tara about helping one of them. And she's
because she could have died from standing on top of a wall and shooting down somehow. Was dangerous.
I don't understand. And then for whatever reason, all of a sudden, Michonne's up there helping her. Maybe she leaned too far out. I'm not sure what was going on there.
Yeah, it really didn't make sense to me. Someone will probably give us a 1-star review and tell us why. But I didn't understand why Rick was so like, you risked yourself. She was just standing there shooting.
Right. I know. Okay.
Far out of reach.
Maybe he didn't want her to waste the bullets or attract the zombies to that part of the fence.
But that didn't really make sense. He the way he was acting, he was mad at her for having risked her life to save Spencer.
Yes.
As if she had did kind of maybe something more like he did, where he's like reaching down.
Yes.
And grabbing him and potentially leaving himself exposed to fall down there.
Right, exactly. And pulled down there. I completely agree. I also thought that it was funny that this happened right after Tobin was telling Rick, "Don't give up on us." And all of a sudden Spencer does
Yeah.
this completely boneheaded move. So
Well, I think there was a theme of that's been going over the last couple episodes of Rick valuing his people over the others.
yes.
Because they're more capable and strong, and he thinks of them as weak. And Michonne even questions him only wanting to use their people for his plan to get the cars and draw the zombies away.
Yes.
And then Tobin, I think, senses that he sees that Rick doesn't respect them or whatever, and he's like, "Don't give up on us." And that is, to me, it's like I was saying a couple episodes that Alexandria was processing this whole wolves attack, and that they're starting to realize that they need to step up their game. And so this is a continuation of that. Tobin, who was anti-Rick, is now like, okay, man, we're ready. You know, we believe in you now. And so Rick has to just accept them as his people too, so that he can then train them.
Yeah.
And speaking of training, there's some training going on, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
Finally.
It wasn't slow motion or with a good soundtrack, but yes, there was training.
There was no waxing on or off. But it was Rosita with her machete skills class.
Yeah. This is how you stick into bone, and it's harder to remove a machete from bone than it is to stick it in bone. Who knew?
You ease it through the bone. Ready? 1, 2.
I don't like that she made Eugene feel bad.
You thought she was too hard on him. You're a puss. Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's basically what she said.
That's pretty much what she said.
And he hung his head and ran away.
Yeah, you made him that. What did Chris Hardwick call him? A big man baby. You made the big man baby cry. A mulleted man baby.
I know. I mean, I just thought, well, they don't want to make Eugene suddenly totally brave, because he needs, then that all that character development would just be done.
Right.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Okay, is it my turn?
It is.
All right, I'll do my second half of Glenn worship. So I was worried that Glenn would lose some of his integrity, or his compassion, or his soul, basically, because of what happened with Nicholas. But I think he still has a good head on his shoulders, you know?
Yeah, I hope that's true. And he certainly demonstrated that, being so kind with Enid. And okay, maybe you say kidnappy, I say being a responsible adult and protective. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it did seem, I don't know. For the most part, I agree. And at first, he told her he was doing that for Maggie. So that made me feel like, okay, maybe he is changing a little bit, because normally he would be doing it for himself. But by the time the episode is over, he said, "We're not supposed to let the world die, and I'm sure as hell not going to let you die." She goes, "I'm sure your wife will forgive you." And he said, "It's not for her anymore." And my heart soared at that point.
Oh.
That was the part I felt emotional connection to the show. And what makes the show so great is that it gets me like that. I felt moved. So that was the highlight for me. And I think he's still our same old good-hearted Glenn that we've always known, until Maggie dies next episode, and then he'll
turn
lose
into
his
a
soul.
raging homicidal maniac. He'll carve a W in his forehead.
He'll be like, yeah, exactly. And he also said, "You honor the dead by going on even when you're scared. You live because they don't get to," which I thought was really great.
That is great. It's a really nice thought.
And we learned an interesting new thing about Glenn this episode. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do not know what you're talking about.
Enid said she was orphaned by walkers, and Glenn, after a pause, said, "Me too, probably."
Probably. Right. Yeah.
As far as he knows, his parents, they were alive before the ZA, and now they're dead.
But he doesn't know for sure, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah. So he didn't see it happen.
That's interesting. So I wonder why he never tried to find out definitively.
Oh, because he's a sleazeball. Just kidding. That's a good point. Yeah, why doesn't he go look?
Right. If he doesn't know definitively, you'd think he'd want to, hey, it would be, and maybe he's from the Atlanta area.
Wow, that Glenn. No compassion or integrity. I know. I think he is, but I think his parent did they? He said Michigan at some point, or am I imagining that he was from Michigan?
He's from Michigan. Stephen Yun's from Michigan.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
that is what it is. Yeah, he's a good Michigan boy. He's got and he loves all things Michigan sports too, which I love as well. So yay, Glenn or Stephen Yun. By the way, did you see that he found David's note to Betsy?
Yeah, and I thought that was just, I don't know. Well, it had to do with husband and wife, which he is a husband and has a wife, but also just a sign that, oh my God, what happened? Like things didn't go so well. Apparently, maybe everyone's dead.
And he pocketed the note, but unfortunately, Betsy already zombified herself, so he's not gonna really be able to pass on that note now.
Right. Maybe he's going to try. They won't show that. Okay, your turn.
All right. So Ron getting all homicidal on Carl. I didn't expect it, and I thought, well, and what am I trying to say? Ron has been a jerk all along, and it's really not been that long. As I said, there's really only been about a day or so that's passed since the season began. But Ron's had a really hard time. He just lost his dad. Rick shot his dad, and that's pretty much all he knows. Oh, and Carl keeps antagonizing him as he was doing during the shooting lesson. I was like, God, Carl, don't antagonize Ron. But I didn't think Ron...
He was trying to help, though, wasn't he? I mean, he was saying, you will be scared.
He said you have to be strong enough to wait for your moment in a really jerky way. And Ron...
Yeah, I think it was maybe more the tone, because it's a good point.
It is a good point.
It wasn't a jerky thing to say. It's like you're teaching someone how to handle a gun. You got to tell them, okay, you wait for your moment. Don't just start firing right away because you're scared, because you are going to be scared. So be ready for that. I mean, that totally makes sense to me. But it was just the snotty way he was saying it.
And right? Ron gave him a look like, I'll wait for my moment. Oh, I'll wait for my moment, son.
Yeah. Like as soon as they saw that look, they probably should have ended the lesson.
And maybe not giving him a gun to carry around to see what it feels like. Yeah. And then he goes to...
Because that look was like, I'm going to kill you.
I will wait for my moment. And then he goes to the arsenal, and Olivia, who can maybe be in charge of nothing, was there, and he easily got the ammo for the gun, and he was right in back of Carl right at the very end of the episode. So maybe would have wasted Carl.
And then when Rick said to Ron, "Hey, your finger doesn't touch the trigger till you're ready to shoot," I was thinking, I think he's ready to shoot right now.
I think he's ready to shoot. And he wants to do some target practice inside the compound. Huh.
Yeah. Can I just have some bullets right now, please?
Yeah, exactly. And, Carl, can you stand over there with like an apple in your mouth? Thanks.
So why does he want to kill Carl and not Rick?
To get back at Rick. Rick took something that Ron loved, his dad. And now Ron, in his maybe his grief, is thinking that he'll take something from Rick that Rick loves. Maybe.
Yeah, that seems plausible. I mean, in the little like scenes from previous episodes that they showed at the beginning, they showed Ron saying something like, well, she was my girlfriend, or something about that. With
yes, exactly.
It's like, she's my girlfriend, or at least she was. And then they showed their little like slap fight. But I don't think it would be about that. Yeah, that he would want to kill Carl just for coming in and being cooler and potentially taking Enid, especially after Enid took off anyway. But maybe, yeah, I think what you're saying makes more sense.
There's a lot of hormones going on there. Just saying.
Yeah. All right, my turn.
Yep.
good. I'm gonna tackle the scene with Morgan, Michonne, Rick, and Carol.
Do
All
it,
four
man.
of them were there, right? At the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a really good scene because it was well acted and had those four
Yes.
together. It's awesome.
Yes.
I especially liked that, it was sort of a conversation about Morgan's philosophy of not
Yes.
killing. And instead of him insisting right away that it's the right way, he doesn't know for sure whether he's doing the right thing or where the line is. And I like that he was thinking about things like, well, Rick, I was a killer, but Rick let me live. And so then I was there to save Aaron and Daryl.
Yeah,
So-
which is a great point.
Yeah. And then he goes, but then that actually, Aaron and Daryl being alive might have actually ultimately led the wolves to Alexandria to kill a bunch of people. So, and he just looked confused while he was saying that, right? And I'm like, man, he's like doing a little mini podcast right there. Considering all the angles.
We'll just let Morgan do the podcast.
But I like that he's not, I think the point is that it's not always clear what is going to lead to the best outcome. Sometimes killing will end up hurting you. Like if Rick would have killed Morgan, then Daryl and Aaron would maybe not be alive. But sometimes it is the right thing. But since we don't really know, and that sometimes actually being peaceful is the right thing, then why not just choose the peaceful route since we don't know?
Right.
I think that's his point.
Yeah. His statement about, I did want to kill those men. I knew I could end it, but I also know people can change because everyone sitting here has. And I was
Right.
thinking, wow, he's absolutely right. Michonne, Carol, Rick, every single one of them has changed for better or for worse. They've all
Right.
changed and maybe changed and changed back. They've all had their freakouts,
Yeah. And then Rick said, making it now, do you really think you can do that without getting blood on your hands? And I felt like that was a real question, at least on some level. Like he's considering it on some level.
Yeah.
It wasn't a rhetorical thing. Or, he doesn't, there's a part of him that wonders, can you possibly? But Carol's the opposite of
Yes.
Morgan because she says the only thing that keeps you from becoming a monster is killing.
Huh.
Which does sound a little backwards on some level, but she's technically right
Well,
from a certain point of view.
is she?
Because if
Karen
the
and
only way to
David?
stop, no. Well, what I'm saying is you have to kill the zombies.
yes.
That's all. You have to kill the zombies.
Sure, but that's not what and Morgan doesn't have a problem killing zombies.
That's true,
He has a problem killing the evil people like the wolves, and he probably wouldn't have had a problem taking down all 5 of those wolves at one time because he's a badass with a glow
Superstar.
stick. Mm-hmm. And he could have redirected their energy back towards them, but he didn't. He didn't want to. And it really is an interesting dynamic of all life is precious versus Carol. The only thing that keeps you from becoming a monster is killing. That's a crazy ass philosophy, Carol. That's
And then to tell it to a little kid.
yeah, yeah.
And I didn't go back though, but not that this would change anything, but it made me curious about her whole thing telling Sam that she was going to take him out and tie him to a tree or something and the monsters would get him. I think that's what he was referencing.
Right. No wonder he huddles upstairs with his cookies.
Yeah.
I would too, man. She's scary.
What's scarier, the wolves or Carol?
I love Carol, but I'm really glad that she's on their side because if she
Yeah.
wasn't, watch out.
And as usual, as much as I say, oh man, what a philosophy, Carol, I love watching her, and I'm so glad her character is on this show and has taken this direction.
Me too. She's fabulous. I love her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is scary house. She is definitely going around like a little cardigan wearing housewife, but she's a scariest one there.
And even she went to Jessie and told her they need me on the wall. Well, what? I'll go up on the wall. No, I'd like to go up there. Why didn't she just say, hey, Jessie, I need to go check on something. Can you watch Judith for a bit? She didn't have to make up a lie, but she can't help it. She's a liar. She's pathological.
How great is that, by the way, that she's there confronting Morgan as he's taking Dr. Denise to see the wounded wolf. Ugh, so great.
Pretty cool, yeah. And then all hell breaks loose with the fence coming down. I don't think Morgan's had very much time to work his mojo on that guy. He's going to be trouble if he gets loose.
It'd be funny if he was all respectful of life at this point.
I know. He's like, let me help save you. Oh,
I'm sorry.
I'm a new man. Last night I had an epiphany.
Either that or
it's not going to happen.
Or he's a zombie now.
As much as you and I may admire Morgan, we're going to look like softies when that wolf gets out and like eats Judith or something.
Oh, man.
I had to go there.
Wow, 1 star.
I'd see it floating above my head. Karen, 1 star. We're going to be saying that to each other. Hey, like if you make a good point. Hey, 5 stars. I'm just going to start randomly saying that to people. Oh, hey, what's up, buddy? 3 stars.
3 stars. Yeah, I like you. 2.5. Okay.
2.5. That's good. Yeah. Yesterday it was only 2.
All right, is it my turn?
Yeah.
All right. My number 1 was the tower falls. Woo! Walls come tumbling down. I liked that I liked the episode was implying that something bad was happening. All episode long, it was alluding to the fact that this tower was crumbling. And it was crumbling, and they kept going back to it, and something bad's going to happen, and kaboom! It was so fun.
And the whole time, Rick is hammering, and yet not concerned about the tower.
No.
It'll be fine.
No.
Let's just shore up this wall that's already seems to be doing fine.
They're putting in these tiny little, they're not even 2x4s. They're like these tiny, tiny little boards that they're putting up.
Tick, tick, tick,
Yeah.
tick, 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 tick.
But it was nice that it fell at a time when everybody's awake and aware and not maybe asleep in their home. So that's nice. And it fell during daylight hours. It kind of reminded me of what happened to the quarry as they were all standing there. They're like, any moment the walls could give. And all of a sudden the wall gave at the quarry. So, it was one of those things where you sort of have to suspend disbelief that, at that very moment that all hell's breaking loose, the walls come down. But it was
that
still
kind
really
of thing
fun.
happens a lot on Walking Dead.
It does.
Tragedies converge at the same time, which is great.
But it made for it's going to make for a very fun mid-season finale, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. This episode did feel a little bit like treading water for the finale to me.
It was all set up. It was total set up for the mid-season finale. But that's great. It's going to be a good one.
It was
good.
I think so. It was great to see Glenn just going around doing anything and being all Glenny and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good in and of itself, but it just felt a little like treading water. Well, let's see. I think we covered all my points, so I'm just going to go right to because my number 1 was Rick too, which we talked about.
Rick.
So
all right.
Let's go into notes. So
sorry.
It's my turn. It's my turn. 2 stars. Can I say my notes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. 3 stars. 3.5. Okay. Rick, when he touched the blood coming through the wall.
Uh-huh.
Do we still not know for sure what that was? Is it the zombies?
It must be the zombies at this point.
I guess so. Okay.
Yeah.
I was confused. When I liked when Maggie said, I saw Judith the other day and she's starting to look like Shane. That was that was a nice callback.
She's starting to look like Shane. You must be really happy. That made me happy. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
It is interesting that you didn't say Rick. I think that's on purpose.
Right, exactly. It was weirdly apropos of nothing also.
I know. It's like, oh, let me just change the subject. But it was nice though. And then I like when Oh well, we already talked about the prayer circle. Let's see. So we see that Morgan needs antibiotics for Alpha Wolf's wound, and so now that sort of just drives it home, I think, anyway, that it's not a zombie bite.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Because you can't cure zombie bites with antibiotics.
Right? No way. We know that for sure.
You can cure it with an axe.
Right? Can I have antibiotics and an axe? And then let's see. And Rick at the beginning said we have food and water and the walls are holding so we can take our time to figure out how to draw the walkers away, which was a counterpoint to the end when the wall fell down.
When the wall fell down.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I guess that's it. I'm I like the episode and I'm looking forward to next week. So that's a good feeling.
Good. So I have a couple notes. Did anyone else think that Deanna looked weirdly happy when she dropped off her expansion plans for for Alexandria? Like she was dropping them off at a planning department meeting with Rick and Michonne. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it was a little weird. It was like, yeah, this is what, hey, everybody's a doo-dah.
It was weird.
And then Michonne was looking at it later and
yes,
as if the music made it sound like she was seeing something, like maybe Deanna had written all work and no play makes Deanna a dull boy or something all over it, but it was just boring plans.
Right, exactly. She was reviewing it for the Alexandria Planning Department meeting.
Anyway, yeah.
It seems like a long time ago that Alexandria used to host cocktail parties. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. They don't do that anymore.
No more cocktail parties. Mm-mm. Alexandria's less fun now. Especially for people named David.
Wait, which one's David?
David's the guy at the fence that Glenn finds and knifes him in the head.
That's two dead Davids.
That's two dead Davids. Things are not good for characters named David on this show.
Yeah, and there's so many people dying, they're running out of names.
Right, exactly. Who else? Oh, we'll just call him David again. Yeah, that's a good one. So where are Sasha, Daryl, and Abraham in the fuel truck?
They're coming back.
So who on the walkie-talkie said help?
We don't know yet. We'll find out, I'm sure.
Citizens. The people it kills get up and kill. Are they slow moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
This is a Walking Dead Cast news update.
Okay, first one comes from LATimes.com. I'll just read an excerpt. A planned shoot-'em-up theme park ride promises to let fans of The Walking Dead travel through scenes from the show, take aim at hordes of zombies with an arsenal of weapons. It's pretty cool, huh?
Ooh, 5 stars, man.